So, so, you want to be a, you want to be a dungeon master.
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. This week, we're going extraplanar, gang. The Dungeon Master's Guide has a section all about the cosmology of the universe, aka the planes of existence that one could have their campaigns visit or go to or be all about. Some planes have a lot more info than others, and we're going to explore that as we go along. But there is an entire universe out there to discover. So let's jump into it. But first, always got to be a but first. Taylor, we've never done a full-on plane jumping campaign where that was like the backbone of the campaign.
Yeah,
but if we did, I'm sure there are a lot of people who have done it. Planeswalker is like a whole thing.
Right.
But how could we make it different? How could we make it us, our own? What flavor and twists would you put on it to kind of make plane jumping feel a little different as opposed to maybe what people would be used to?
Yeah, it would be really hard for me not to do a Rick and Morty-esque, just kind of making little portals and walking through into these weird plane like landscapes. And having just I think the key to doing like plane stuff is to make it as different from the real world as possible. So crazy, I mean, whether it's a crazy farcical thing going on, like you go through this portal and there's like I don't know, just something stupid, whimsical. And
Yeah.
but it's being taken as like the most serious thing on the planet. Like in Centaur world, they do this thing where the centaurs have there's supposed to be these mighty warriors that are fighting for what, like, the best fighters in the world, and the whole thing is that they fence on like tulips. Like there's a bunch of tulips in the ground, and it's not so much fencing as just kind of dancing through the tulips and not stepping on them. That's the whole thing. So something silly like that. But definitely
But for the plane jumping
either
itself, you
for the plane
would
jumping
have
itself,
the players maybe
have like
have
a
the
portal gun or
equivalent of a
something.
portal gun.
Yeah.
So
I
they could
think
truly be jumping quickly and often.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think
Would you have it be like, because I know it's a little different in Rick and Morty, obviously,
yeah,
depending on how deep into like the physics and the rules
yeah,
of Rick and Morty you want to go. But like sometimes Rick knows where they're going. Would the players always know where they're going, where they're teleporting to? Or would you include some kind of randomification? Is that a word? Randomizing, probably a lot easier to say.
Yeah.
Jury's still out. Okay.
It's early, gang. It's early, gang. Words are hard.
It's only almost noon.
But yeah, so I think so. I think that adding that random element to it would be interesting. Do it kind of like what is it? I think it's just like teleportation in
Or
regular
teleport,
D.
yeah.
Yeah,
Has like
teleport where it
a
has like a
scale.
thing where it has like a
Usually
scale
it's,
of
yeah, you need the items.
how close you are to that area. That would be definitely something that could be worked into it. I also think having maybe like a One Piece style, like we have to go to this area and wait for a little bit for the gun to recharge type of deal. Like
The way the
where like
compass works.
yeah, the way the compass works, where they have to they go to the
Yeah.
island, they have to be on the island for a certain amount of time before it points them to their next
Before the
destination.
compass can reset. Yeah, in One Piece, once they get past a certain level and they get out of the East Blue into the Grand Line proper, they get a new type of compass because the islands are weird and the magnetic poles and everything starts getting wonky. So you need a special kind of compass that, like, yeah, it points in the direction of your next island. You go to that island and then you got to chill for, sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's a week. It's different island to island. But once it recharges, it like points to your next destination. So just like, yeah,
So I
that's a
think
really interesting idea.
having some kind of like, that way the players are kind of forced to sit in the
Mm,
weirdness for a little
yeah,
bit
yeah, yeah.
before they can move on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you do want to experience
Yeah.
some of the stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
you're cooking up. I There's a part of me where my first thought goes to video games like there's so many good examples. There's millions, literally. Mario 64,
Mm-hmm.
Banjo-Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, any of those games where there's
Where
like a
it's like a
central
hub
hub
world. Yeah.
and then you have all the portals. And I
Yeah.
think that could be really interesting to
That would be
explore how
fun
that
too. Yeah.
works, how you unlock the different portals. Maybe they're closed and it's like you didn't get enough puzzle pieces. Oh, oh no. Uh text across the screen. Yeah. Um I'm clicking B as fast as I can. Get through this. Um No, I do think that that's how I would change it up. That's like because I want to know like why is there a hub world? How does that
Yeah.
work? How does that play into everything? How does it
Mhm.
play into the cosmology of things? Is it run by like a
Yeah.
specific deity and or alignment? Because we'll find that as we were talking, most of the planes and the cosmology that we're talking about come from like pretty old school D&D.
Hmm.
And therefore you find a lot of absolutes. You find like alignments are
Hmm.
involved. You find like everybody in this plane is lawful evil forever and ever. And you're like,
Right.
okay. Obviously, as is true with everything in D&D, when it comes to lore stuff, take it or leave it. You can use it for inspiration. You can be like, hey, 9 hells. How about 15 hells? Go for it, dog. No one's stopping you.
You can have as
Like,
many houses as you like.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
The more the merrier, I say. Um, By the way, next month is Pride Month. Anyway, uh I am allowed to make that joke. It's one of my favorite sins. So the point is this. I think that when you're doing a plane jumping campaign, when it's all about that,
Mhm.
I think how you travel from plane to plane is going to be a huge part of it because it
Yeah.
presumably will be happening often.
Right.
So whether it's a massive astral voyaging ship or a gun that can teleport quickly and efficiently like that, but you don't have like a
Hmm.
vessel. So like, boom, you teleport. Oh no, you're 300 feet in the air. Let
Right.
alone the whimsical, fucked up world you found yourself in, but also gravity still exists in this world.
Right. Right. Right.
Bummer.
Bummer. Damn.
Lucked out. So like, I think that's the crux. Because
Yeah.
of course, like, oh, which planes are you visiting? Why are you visiting the planes? Of course, those are
Hmm.
important. But like,
Right. Right. Right.
to me, the thing that
But
you could
I
really
do
start
like
making things different is like,
the hub world
how
idea
are
too.
you?
Yeah.
How are you teleporting? And maybe like, why are you teleporting?
Hmm.
Um,
Which
why do you
that's
have to go to all these different worlds? You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
Like, are
are you
you
chasing
chasing
somebody?
somebody?
Is it a bunch of MacGuffins? Is
Right.
it like you got to get the favor of multiple gods?
Hmm.
That could be a really cool high level campaign where you have to do you have to like go to the Mount of Celestia and like do a trial that Bahamut gives you in order to get
Right.
his boon so that
Hmm.
you can take on fill in
Asmodeus.
the blank, Stephen Miller. I don't know. I
Stephen
don't know.
Miller. Yeah. The
Some
true
evil piece of
evil.
shit.
Some
Actually, let's not
evil.
even put him on a pedestal. He's just a goblin who got lucky, dog. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. He just climbed onto the right like coattails. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just a goblin who was like, I don't know. I don't know. He calls himself Vecna, and I think he's gonna go big. It's just like
Right,
he just
right,
lucked
right.
out. Fuck that guy. Anyway,
That's so
doesn't even
funny.
deserve. I'm getting mad just thinking about it. Let's get into the meat of the episode, but
Let's
first,
do it. But
before
first,
I do that, but
before,
second,
after, yeah,
the Patreon. Gang,
check it out,
go
gang.
check out the Patreon. Link is in the description. There's so many freaking cool stuff on there. Bonus action episodes. If you like the podcast, go check out the bonus action. So many crazy things. We're recording an episode later today where we're just trying to make each other laugh. And that's the whole
Hmm.
episode, basically, through giving each other random scripts and
Hmm.
hopefully not getting each other canceled. I only wrote one risque joke for Taylor. You'll have to tune into the bonus action to
Mm,
check it out.
I'm worried.
I'm kidding. I did it. I almost did, but I did it. I was gonna do something to the effect of like, uh, it was like obviously you'd be reading it, but it would be like my best friend Justin, a guy you'd love to have around, and I was gonna put in parentheses like you have to do bunny ears when you do the word guy. I decided not to. Okay, but
But
without further ado, let's actually get into the meat of the episode. All
let's do
jokes
it.
aside.
Let's do it. Let's talk about
So
Cosmo.
yeah, dude, we're
Cosmos.
talking about cosmology. So the first thing I did whenever looking up anything important, I went to the Collins Dictionary. I went to our
Naturally.
tried and true
Mm.
companion for all things literary. And what they say is that number one, it's a noun. Number two, it's the study of the origin and nature of the universe.
Mm.
The
Big
combo there, I think,
concepts.
is important.
Yes.
That it's origin and
And
nature.
the
It's
nature.
not
Yes.
just how the universe started, it's also what's the deal with it now that it already has started. Because
Right.
I think that's important because almost every D&D, especially if you D&D specifically, your world has a cosmology, your
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah.
How in depth you get into that can change. You
Hmm.
can keep it real like pantheon religion specific and
Hmm.
kind of really wind yourself into that of like the world was created by these deities, this the dwarves were created by this god, the elves were created by this you know what I mean, like you
Hmm.
could kind of Lord of the Rings it and have there be the different gods who created all the things and do it that way and really focus on the origin because maybe it's still important to the culture of your setting or like it's important to the plot that your players are going to be following and it that also has to do with learning about this history. In my personal experience of homebrew and world building and running games, I personally haven't touched how did this world start.
Right.
The origin, the creation story hasn't come up. It's never
Hmm.
been an important thing. My players haven't like I don't want to put like a lot of emphasis on them because it's not like I asked them, but it seems as though they don't care that much about like
I mean,
how
that's
Waterdeep started 3 million years ago or 2,000 years ago. You know what I mean? Like
right.
it
Yeah.
isn't
Yeah. Yeah.
relevant to our plot really in a way
Exactly. Right.
where
Right.
it
Right.
makes sense to even pursue that. But
Very much
also, it's
in
not
the
like,
moment party.
yeah, it's not necessarily like a lot of the questions I get would cause me to start thinking about that stuff either, though.
Hmm.
Like, even the character who does the most research in our home game, she's
Yeah.
more interested in the Feywild and monsters and like knowing specific stuff that it's way more plot specific
Right.
than anything else. So it's like that's how I've always felt about creationist stories. Like it's one of my fears for people who get into world building for the first time is that they feel as though they need to go that far back where they're like, okay,
Right.
how did the Big Bang start in my setting? And it's like, you don't have to start there. You really don't. In
Yeah.
fact, you can just be like, hey, you guys live in Sphinx City. It's
That's
been
it.
Sphinx City for a very long time, hundreds of
Hmm.
years. Oh, there's an elf in the group. We're not even going to cover that. Like, we're not even really going to cover that. We did actually cover it in our upcoming actual play that comes out at the end of June. Oops All Healers, a medical drama.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character that's an elf, and we do play on a flashback that they had where they remember Sphinx City when it was horse and carriages through the streets.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's very
Like
cool, and it's so yeah, because it used to be called New Amsterdam, as you know,
naturally. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
because New York was New
New
Amsterdam,
Amsterdam.
so
Yeah.
Sphinx City is New
Yeah.
Hamsterdam because they all hamster.
Naturally. Oh,
Because
the all hamster. Yes. Hmm.
yes, yeah,
Sure.
we're on the same page, dude.
Got it.
Okay,
I'm with it.
cosmology. Let's get into it.
Yes. Let's do
Planes,
it.
realms, dimensions, whatever you want to call it. D&D usually calls them planes, but they've used some of the words interchangeably as well, realms and stuff. But
Hmm.
they're putting all of these because there's like 29 or 30 we're gonna breeze through today.
Based, yeah, and it's all kind of just based on like this is the history of D&D as well as like the more modern stuff that's in the new books, but also covering a lot of the ones that were in like first edition, second edition. Some of this stuff
Yeah,
has
and
been
it
around for that long.
truly, truly, the Nine Hells, the
Yeah.
Abyss, that because I've
Yeah,
Feywild
yeah,
probably
yeah.
been along for a very long time. Some of the we'll learn about the plane of ooze.
Yeah.
That's relatively newish. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? As far as I've seen. But so they break them into categories first. And this is like an
Hmm.
easy way to start explaining the planes to players, to new people who are just learning about this kind of stuff. There's also some really good graphics and images you can find online, artwork that will kind of show the different planes and how they're maybe oriented. Obviously, there's some play there in terms of how you want it to be done for your world. Some people, for example, will do like a lot of the planes are connected through the river Styx where they can travel through, especially the lower planes.
Yeah.
Some will do like something more like World Tree, Yggdrasil kind of vibes where it's connected through a tree. Others will just do like the Great Wheel cosmology, which is kind of low key the most common for D&D settings, where it's just like they're just there, man, and it's like
Right.
the astral sea and the ethereal and all that kind of shit just kind
Hmm.
of connects it, and it's fine. But anyway, the first is the material realms. This is
Hmm.
where most D&D settings are set. This is where you're going to get just the material plane.
Your prime material plane.
Yeah, so that's like water deep, Neverwinter, Barovia, I'm pretty sure. So it's just like all of those things that are just like normal D&D.
Right.
Then you also included in that are the two planar echoes of each other, which is the Feywild and the Shadowfell.
Hmm.
They occupy kind of the same space. Like all three of those realms are occupying almost the same space. They're just like shadows of each
On
other.
top of each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you have the transitive planes. So
Hmm.
these are the ones that are boundless. They're used for passage between realms. You got the ethereal, often
Hmm.
associated with ghosts, although not exclusively, of course.
Right.
And you also have the astral plane.
Right. And the
Uh,
astral plane is kind of the space in between planes.
yeah,
And then ethereal plane, as far as I can tell, is like you were saying, like ghosts and stuff like that. It's kind of more almost another material like shadow plane in that it's
very true.
something that you can transfer yourself into, move in, and then come back, and you still are able to maybe not affect the prime material plane, but you can still see it. You still have your ability
Yeah.
to sense what's going on.
And what I will say is that they've built upon that because that's my understanding of the ethereal plane, dating as
Hmm.
far back as I can remember.
Yeah.
But like when I was opening up the Dungeon Master's Guide in the cosmology chapter,
Hmm.
there's like two full pages on the ethereal plane. Like
Oh
there's like
wow.
deep ethereal where there's like people and stuff.
Right.
Like it's
Okay,
like
I got you.
its
Like a
own
whole
thing.
other thing.
Yeah, there's like the borders of the ethereal plane are do what we were used to
Gotcha.
thinking, where it's like
Okay.
that just the upside down, if you will, of like of it
Right.
all. But then there's like further in. That's why you can only see so far into the ethereal plane.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and so there, I don't know, it was really interesting. But those are the transitive planes.
Yep.
Then we have the inner planes. These are the four elemental planes: fire, air, water, and earth, plus, and this is relatively a newer addition, at
Hmm.
least in the book, para elemental planes between them. So
So like,
when water and earth meet, you get the plane of mud.
okay, and
For
like fire
example,
and air would like be,
I don't
or
even think it's called mud. That might
fire
be
and
ooze
water
actually, but
would be
stuff like
like
that,
steam, or like
mm,
a steam plane, or
something like that. Yeah,
you know,
you'll
yeah.
see. I put them all in there. Um, so those are the just the inner planes, so
Hmm.
closer to the material realms.
Right.
Then we have the outer planes. This is where you're gonna have most of them.
Hmm.
17 different planes exist in this one category. They correspond to the nine different alignments and shades of the philosophical differences between them.
Hmm.
So, the nine different alignments for people who are unaware, it's really like you're going to take your lawfulness or chaoticness. So, you have chaotic, neutral, or lawful.
Hmm.
And then on the other side, on the x axis or y axis or whatever, on your Punnett square, you're going to put down your evil, good, or neutral.
Hmm.
And then you're combining. So
Yeah.
when you do 3 and 3, you get 9, obviously. And so therefore, your pea plant can be any one of these
Right.
9 phenotypes or whatever based on their genotypes and yada
Mhm.
yada yada.
Yeah.
So like you'll see a lot of alignment in planes, in the outer planes, and like
Mhm.
how the planes work and even like some of the designs of them. But again, some planes have a lot of stuff written about them. They have entire modules dedicated to
Yeah.
them, and others a paragraph or two.
Uh, but yeah, so like the outer planes kind of correspond to the afterlife space. Like they are what fill that kind of like you've got your like Valhalla type planes and then also your hellscapes and all of that stuff, the abyss and all that stuff that we're
Yeah.
talking about. All of this occupies the outer plane. It's supposed to like it's put in the game as kind of like these are the places you go when you die.
And it's like where
Like your
gods live.
soul, yes. Yeah. Where
Like
your
this
soul
is where the god
goes.
lives.
Right.
Bahamut lives in the outer planes, the Raven Queen, Asmodeus, like they're all
Hmm.
living in these outer planes. And there's some kind of usually there's some kind of in-lore reason about why the gods can't like physically come to the material plane and fuck
Right.
shit up or whatever. Sometimes it's a divine gate that keeps them back there. Since the cataclysm, the gate has kept the gods in their place. I don't know. Um, the other planes that are interesting that they've added, not added, but like
Hmm.
included in the book are positive and negative planes. So these are 2 planes. These are like, you know how the ethereal and the astral are like it's meant to be this soup that keeps everything together, that or like
Right.
connects them all. This even goes beyond that.
This is bigger soup.
This is even bigger soup, positive and negative energy. So a plane dedicated to negative energy, a plane dedicated to positive energy. These are the raw forces of life and death that underlie all of existence.
Hmm.
Because
It wasn't
technically,
complicated
you can
enough.
kill a god.
Right.
So there is like things, right? Even though, yes, you kill, most of the time you kill some like a higher level devil on the material plane, they go back to hell. But if you go to hell also and you kill them
Hmm.
there, then they're dead. Like a
Right.
Rakshasa has that very specifically written in their
Hmm.
stats of like you have to kill them on hell or in hell rather
Right.
in order for them to actually be dead forever. And that like law, if you will, is the positive and negative planes, like that influence.
Right. Gotcha.
Just like how the uh, elemental planes have a lot of influence over the material plane and the Feywild and the Shadowfell and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So those are our main categories of planes.
All right, cool. Episode over. Just
I
kidding.
wish, but we
There's
have about 30 to run through.
yeah.
So,
Let's get
and we're
started.
not going to go over a ton of depth with any of these just because simply there are like 30 planes. So it's just
Hmm.
even if you spend 2 minutes on each plane, that's an hour. So it's like we can only spend so much. That
Yeah.
being said, we will do future episodes where we go more in depth because I want to actually genuinely sit down and do some of the research. Like
And
we're going to talk about one called Arcadia. It sounds cool. I want to know more about it.
yeah,
Arborea, oh, the Beastlands, Bitopia,
Arcadia.
Carcery. We're going to learn about so many. And some of them, I'll say this, they do such a better job in the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide than they did in the 2014 when it comes to this stuff because every single plane, even if they only write a little bit about it, has a whole, at least like a small paragraph that
Right.
says, if you run adventures here, here are some examples.
Right.
Here's what it
Right.
would look like if adventurers came here.
Hmm.
And just for that sake alone, it's like, oh, that's nice. So, getting into it, we'll start off with the material realms, I should say. So,
Hmm.
these are your material plane. So, the material plane, we know this. We've talked about it already, right? It's infinitely diverse. Everything from orcs to elves to halflings to all kinds of crazy
Hmm.
monsters. There's Arctic environments, there's desert like environments. Like the biodiversity of Earth, for example, not
Right.
even a fantasy world, but just of Earth, is
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Not many other planets out here doing it. Calling you out, Saturn. Get with it.
Get with it. Come
You
on.
think you're the only one with rings, idiot? Stupid. Anyway, let it be known. So you want to be a DM has beef with the planet Saturn
Saturn
and
specifically.
also the deity. Fuck off, man. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah.
so like Faerun, Barovia, 90% of D&D adventures happen here.
Mhm.
I've already talked a little bit about like how the world was specifically created can vary.
Mhm.
Some people can talk about Yggdrasil. Some people will do like primordial titans, like really lay into the elemental side of things. Other people just use deities. They're the creator gods, the betrayer gods, the destroyer god. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
millions of different ways you can do it. There's also the way that I usually do. Don't do it. Just hey,
Just don't. It's here
long
now.
ago the gods
Yeah.
created the world. That's all you really need to know. And guess what? Oh, it's lost to time. Uh, oh, it's so old. It's gone. Sorry. Demons burned the Library of Alexandria. Sorry about it. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Anyway, that's the material plane.
Mhm.
So many adventures, but still, you talk to people and you're like, "Oh, have you ever done an underwater adventure?" And they're like, "No, I haven't." And it's like, that's still the material plane.
Yeah.
Obviously, you go to the elemental plane of water, but you could do it, right? So there's so
Yeah.
many cool things you could do just in the material plane. And that doesn't even get us into the other things. So you also have the Feywild. Everyone knows this.
Yes.
Everyone knows the Feywild. We all have our own interpretation of what it might look like in our own heads sometimes because it is so connected to a lot of existing folklore
Mhm.
with fairies. It's also called the plane of fairy sometimes.
Right.
Um, but it is a place that responds to emotion. It's a very emotional place. That's why you have some fey creatures like a red cap or whatever. I think it's a red
It's a red
cap,
cap. Yeah.
right? They're
Mhm.
like anger
Yeah.
personified, right? They're mad. They're kicking things with steel-toed boots and shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're mad people. You have hags who live in the Fae. You also have like amazing, cute little spritesy little fairies, little jigglypuffs running around and shit.
Mhm.
But it's interesting because it is also a very magical place and it has this interesting relationship with time, distance, and geography. So they're very malleable.
Right.
Where
Because it
like,
is one of those like the reverse planes, the planes that's on planes on top of planes. So there
yeah,
is a correspondence between a location in fairy and a location in the prime material. That distance can vary. The amount of time that it takes you to get from point A to point B could take a week in fairy, and then you come out and it's been a day.
yeah, that when you travel between the planes, there's entire tables to find out if you
Hmm.
even remember your time in the Feywild, how much time has passed differently.
Right.
And there's things in the Feywild that are weird of like, even without traveling back to the material plane, there'll be time you're in one forest and it's blizzarding cold, and you
Hmm.
take two steps and it's the middle of summer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like things don't play by the rules the same way in the Feywild.
Hmm.
Things are weird. There's also, like I said, responding to emotion. The grass will like grow more under certain circumstances because you're happy. Or like if you're
Hmm.
walking through the grass and you're just like mad, the grass will just die as you're walking through it. Like everything around you kind of responds to your vibes. Like it's a
Right.
really interesting plane. You can go in the direction. I think the Feywild is my favorite when I think about it, is the full spectrum of the Feywild. On one side, incredibly whimsical.
Hmm.
Like Disney,
Silly,
Alice in
goofy, funny.
Wonderland.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Then on the other end, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. It is like
Hmm.
bleak and it is creepy and just like weird. Everybody has an extra digit or like an extra thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
their knees
Yeah. Yeah.
bend
Yeah.
backwards. You're like, oh, this isn't whimsical. This is creepy. But it's still kind of like that fairy vibe of like,
Hmm.
ooh.
Yeah.
Then you got the Shadowfell, the plane of shadow. It's a gloomy dimension. There's no stars or sun in the sky. It is the antithesis of the Feywild, echoes of one another. Here, there is no emotion. I mean, unless you count dreariness and gloom, I guess, as emotion. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like the absence of emotion. It's just like ugh. The whole plane is meh. Where you're just
Mhm.
like, God, there's no color, nothing interesting. Just like kill me already.
Right.
Very negative place in that regard of like how to describe things.
And it doesn't have to be nothing is going on or there's no like it's not interesting or whatever. It is just very much the vibes of the place is that all the joy has been sucked out, basically. So
Mhm.
it's not that it's uninteresting, it's that it's interesting in a creepy, like I hate you
Yeah.
kind of way.
And you just have to play with it differently. Like my interpretation of the Shadowfell was not that it was all downsides.
Hmm.
Like you guys were able to go into a town, find nice people who like
Yeah.
treated you well and gave you food and hospitality and like answered your questions and sent you on your way. Like everything was fine. Were
Agreed.
there like underbelly kind of some seedy stuff going on? Yes, of course. But
Hmm.
it would take you away from the main time
Right.
merchant thing you had to do, which was kind of the point. But also, yeah, I think I also wanted it to be like fun. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, how do you make super deep, dark, colorless depression fun? Well, I've had it for a long time, but it still isn't fun. So I
Yeah.
think I need to add some other stuff. So I added some other stuff, but it didn't still ended up being fun
Yeah.
because it was still like everything was just like creepy, colorless, trying to use as many grays and blacks and whites and trying to figure out ways to just kind of harp on some darker emotions,
Hmm.
some darker feelings, even a non-combat encounter where you have to deal with grief.
Yeah.
You have to like have a character moment where you have to look back on something your character lost along the way and just reflect on that. Even that is like a powerful non-combat encounter that you can do. It's not even an encounter, it's just like a thing that you as a prompt almost,
Right.
where you're just like asking the player, like, as you guys look upon this dead forest, what is the time in your character's life that you had something die or blah blah blah? And then you're like, fuck, now we're getting into it. But those are the material realms. Then we get into the
Hmm.
transitive planes.
Yes.
So we got the astral plane. I am a big fan of the astral plane.
Hmm.
I've done considerable research on the astral plane. Did you know that there's a red crystal dragon that lives there?
Rad. No, I didn't.
Yeah, ancient red crystal dragon. Yeah, I statted him out. It's not important why. A realm of thought and dream. Souls travel through the astral plane to get to their outer planes.
Hmm.
It is similar to space in the sense that it is like how Taylor mentioned it. Like you can think of it like in your head when your mind's eye, you can kind of just picture like a bunch of asteroids listing through space.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of the astral
It's
plane
kind of
or the
like
astral sea.
yeah. Like I'm imagining like the Mass Effect going from solar solar system to solar system kind of situation in that they're all within reach, but they're very spread out and they don't really
Yeah.
connect with each other. So you got to figure out a way, a spaceship or some kind of FTL drive, fantasy FTL
Yeah. Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
from one to the other.
Well, it's interesting in the
AKA
astral plane too,
planeswalking.
because it's everyone who goes to the astral plane, almost everyone who goes to the astral plane can fly
Yeah.
with your thoughts.
Hmm.
How fast you can fly is based on your intelligence score.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah. There's whole all rules for it. It's incredible. I
That's
love the astral plane. Just you wait. Then we have the ethereal plane, a misty, fog bound dimension whose shores overlap the material realms and the inner planes. They made that a point, and I thought that was
hmm
interesting, which was why I
yeah.
included it. That it doesn't necessarily interact with the outer planes in the same way, because
Right.
what are ghosts like in heaven? What a question.
Right.
We'll ask like I don't know Brian Cox or like somebody later, some kind of scientist. Who else would I ask
D&D
that question to?
scientist.
Stephen Fry. who I would love to ask that question. What are ghosts? Are there ghosts in heaven? Steve probably would be like,
Yeah.
"How dare you even ask me such a question?" So you can usually only see 60 feet in front of yourself, right?
Hmm.
But the deeper you go into the ethereal, the less that gets. And then
Right.
every point, we already mentioned this a little bit, but every point in the material plane and in the inner planes has a corresponding point in the ethereal plane. Very
Right.
much a two planes occupying the same space kind of thing.
Right.
So that you can just kind of flip your fingers, look around, like take everyone listening to the podcast, pull your cars over, take a second really quick, look around you, gather your surroundings in. Now, snap your fingers and just imagine all of that in black and white, kind of foggy, a little bit like a dream sequence. That's the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
Most of the time, right? Like obviously you still have this like fogginess, so you can't see that far. All
Hmm.
of those things, it's colorless, all of that. But like that's kind of how I picture it. Maybe like it looks like a sketch, like the Aha Take on Me music video.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Where things are like moving a little bit, like the lines of the walls are like shaking, so it's like not perfect. That way you don't want to like stay in the ethereal plane for too long because it's like eventually you're like, I'm not meant to be here. This is
Right.
not good. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna get motion sickness. Uh, and then we have the inner planes.
Hmm.
Inner planes are a lot of fun. I still think it's interesting that there's a lot of information written about some of them more than others. Like the plane of fire has way more written about it than the others do, because it has the city of brass, which is like a genuine city that like I use genuine to mean like D&D published
Right.
adventure module kind of official.
Hmm.
Um, it comes up in Critical Role season 1, campaign 1. They go to the city of brass to go get some kind of magical piece of armor, and they have to battle a
Right.
pit fiend and escape. And they have to. That was the first time I saw modify memory get used in a way where I was like, "This spell is crazy," because they were like, all the guards are about to come in, like they can hear. I'm not exaggerating. Thousands of Ifrit guards approaching.
Right.
Scanlan is talking to one of them, like the main guy, like the general, and he modify memories him to be like, no, no, you helped us take out that pit fiend, and you're so fucking grateful that we did. Because that pit fiend was fucking people up. And so it was in the last 10 minutes, like that is what they did, just kill the pit fiend very publicly, though, which is why like the police were coming in. So it was just like,
Right.
I was like, damn, that spell's crazy. But with the exception of City of Brass and Plane of Fire, some of these planes don't get written about. I think enough. Like I think it would be so fun to explore them in greater detail. There should be entire
Hmm.
adventure modules just diving into all of the places. The book does mention maybe like a town or a region in each plane, so at least it gives you something. But like
Hmm.
we'll start off elemental plane of air. Constant winds, drifting pieces of earth that are floating in the air, kind of like very
Hmm.
the blue people, the other avatar,
Oh yeah,
Pandora
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, kind of
Right.
that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
vibe.
The floating islands.
Yeah, you're gonna find a lot of Aarakocra here. Jinn elementals of that nature are kind of go
Hmm.
without saying, so I'm not gonna mention
Right.
air elementals and then earth elementals, and so
Right.
there. Um, the elemental plane of earth, chain of mountains impossibly high, honeycombs of caverns. You got a lot of Tao here, the earth elemental version of a genie. And
Hmm.
those are true for all of them. I mean, obviously, you're going to find Merid in the water one. You're going to find Ifrit in the fire one, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
But
Right.
like the Tao are interesting because this is like, for me, it's a look back into old school D&D and like Gygax and his own internal racism bullshit because of the kind of like, oh, we have to have monsters who do slavery. And it's like, you don't, dude. You actually don't have to, and you shouldn't. Uh you Gary Gygax shouldn't.
Right.
But so it's interesting. But it's harsh. Like Dower technically listed as evil. So like they're intense, they're hardcore. It's whereas the plane of air is known for movement, animation, and inspiration. The plane of earth is known for stability, rigidity, stern resolve, and tradition. And anytime I hear the word tradition, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up because it just
Hmm.
makes me think of people who are like, but it's always been that way. Not to stereotype, but a little bit. The plane of fire, blazing sun overhead, golden sky, obviously very, very hot.
Hmm.
Known
Hmm.
for vibrancy, passion, and change. Again, this is where you find the city of brass. Um, red dragons are supposedly like twice as big here. Like they're like literally in size. Like if you were to fight an
Right.
ancient red dragon anywhere, this is not where you would want it to happen.
Right. Right.
Right? Like we remember Zuko and Katara fighting when it was like the sun and the moon and them both
Uh-huh.
using those to their advantage. This is Zuko in a plane made of fire. Like
Right. 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 Right.
he's gonna do well. And then you have the plane of water, an endless sea called the Sea of Worlds. I actually like that name, even though it's very simple. With islands and enormous reefs, huge storms sometimes. Water, of course, representing life, healing, erosion on the kind of the other end of things, and
Hmm.
steady flow. So, in between all of these planes, almost think of them like a ring. When two of the planes touch, that para elemental plane in between
Right.
that transitionary period is where we get these other ones. So fire and air, plane of ash.
Right.
Air and water, plane of ice.
Okay.
Earth and fire, you get magma.
Hmm.
And water and earth, you get ooze,
Gross.
essentially mud. Yeah. Yeah.
Gross.
It's pretty cool. They only have like a little bit written about each one, of course, but like
Hmm.
still it's just cute that they even thought of them because I have been
Yeah.
thinking about that for a long time.
Right. And it's very interesting to just kind of know that that's also a option, like, because if you go to the plane of fire and stuff like that, and it's super hot or whatever, like I like that there's also a plane of ice for you to go to where it's like all cold and what have
Hmm.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like you
Absolutely.
have your opposites always counteracting each other type of deal.
For sure. For sure. Um, okay, so then it is interesting because then you never have like fire and water never touch the
Right.
planes. Those planes never touch. So there is no like steam,
Steam plane, right.
which is interesting. Yeah, I guess that's another thing. It depends on how are you like visually like mapping out the borders of these planes of existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because then you're getting into some true time space stuff where you're like, does the universe have an end? If not, why is it expanding? What? What do you mean it's expanding? I don't know, dog. They just said it's getting bigger. Who's
Yep.
they? A physicist
Science.
I saw on a clip. That's all I know. And I did watch that Netflix documentary called like Infinity, where they were just
Hmm.
talking about like the very concept of infinity and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I took a gummy before,
Your brain melted, I'm sure.
brother.
It's it's
I
a
was in
lot.
a I was in a different plane. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
became
Yeah.
the plane of ooze. So now we're getting into the outer planes.
Sure.
Now there's 17 of these bad boys.
Wow.
I'm gonna kind of try and go through these a little quickly. If you have any questions, Taylor, or if you want to offer any information, please do.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm
Rapid fire.
I'll move to the next one. Yeah. So
All right, let's
feel
do it.
free. If you even if you want to give me a visual representation,
I'm gonna
feel
put my
free.
hand on the
But
buzzer.
okay. Starting off with the abyss. This is your chaotic evil. This plane is perverse, as in not perversion in a sexual gross way necessarily, but perverse in a way of like going against taboos and kind of just truly gruesome. It is chaotic. It is the opposite of law here, right? So
Right.
it is, oh, the law, the norms are X, Y, and Z. Perverse just being we're going against that. We're spitting in the face of what is normal. This is a virtually endless spiral that just goes deeper and deeper, and it just gets scarier and scarier along the way.
Hell
There
yeah.
are like selections where it'll say something in the book of like, because the abyss has a little bit more written about it, because this is where your demons come from. Anytime you see something that says, oh, there's a monster, it's a fiend, parentheses, demon, it's usually from the abyss. Um, and what you'll find is that in the book, they'll have like, oh, these 3 layers are called this, and this is what they look like. Or these 30
Hmm.
layers kind of look like this, and this is their vibe. So they give you a little bit of information, but it's essentially a endless spiral that just goes deeper and deeper and gets more and more fucked up. Next, we have Acheron or Acheron. This is lawful evil, comma, lawful neutral. You'll see this a
Okay.
couple of times where a plane is occupying 2 different technical out of the 9. Because we said that there's 9 different things, but then also there's 17 planes. So you're going to get some wishy-washiness with some of these. But okay, we got
Yeah.
lawful evil and lawful neutral. This is a place of enforced order where rigid conformity leads to crushed spirits and broken hopes.
This makes me think of I think it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that planet of where it's just bureaucracy, where you have like the whole
Kind
planet is
of.
just standing in line.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Um, you do have here immense iron blocks that kind of float around. So remember we talked about the Feywild has like some of those, or no, excuse me, it was the plane of air has like
Hmm.
Pandora style, these like floating earth rocks and stuff.
Right.
Picture that, except they're just like iron blocks, flat sides, like very orderly, just floating
Hmm.
through. It's very like a Destiny 2 fucking raid
Yeah, I gotcha. I
that you have
gotcha.
to
I gotcha.
jump
I'm with you.
to.
The jump puzzle
Um,
part. Yeah.
so that the other crazy thing here is that sometimes you'll find spirit armies, entire spirit armies. There's like refuse of war machines broken from aeons past. This
Hmm.
is again an afterlife in many regards. And so it is the afterlife of those who are like, well, these are my orders.
Right.
I had to do this is where ICE officers go.
Yeah.
This is where I was following orders people go.
Right. Right. Right.
Crushed spirits and broken hopes.
Yeah. You want to follow orders so bad? Here, follow orders for eternity.
Yeah.
And by the
Moving
way,
on.
your orders are stand there and
Stand here.
don't
I
move.
just stay here. Um, the next up is Arborea. This is our chaotic good. This is a plane of extremes. There are stupendously craggy mountains. There are deep gorges, forests of massive trees, wheat fields that go on forever, orchards, lots of nature. We also, it is a larger than life place of violent moods and deep affections. Whim backed by steel, almost more like in the sense of like swords,
Hmm.
but when it says backed by steel, because I misread that the first time. I'm kind of almost talking to myself now, but like when I first read that was their words in the book. It was like whims backed by steel, and I was like, they just mentioned so much nature, and I know that steel in a way comes from nature. I was like, but also, I was like, what do you mean? I think what they mean is whims backed by steel. Like people here are like very passionate.
Right.
They're blazing, you know what I mean? So if you come in hot and you're like, "Hey man, I don't like the look of your face." Then they're like, "Oh, really?" Steel. They're
Yeah.
pulling out a sword, right? Like
Yeah.
they're like, "Okay, sick. You like your buffalo wings with what? You like flats over drums? I don't think so." Steel.
I
That's how
don't
it
think
is
so,
there.
Scooter.
That's how
Anyway,
I picture Arborea is truly
yeah.
like people flying off the handle, just like the smallest thing being like,
Zero
okay,
to
but
100.
like
Yeah.
still kind of being happy about it. Not really
Uh-huh.
like it's not the same as like, oh, you have a disgusting opinion or something. It's like, no, you think pineapple on pizza is good. We're gonna fight about it. I still think you're a person.
Right.
I
Right.
still respect you as a human. I just hate your pizza choice. I don't even
And we're
think it's
gonna fight
pizza to
about
be
it.
fair. But okay, so after Arborea, we have
Hmm.
Arcadia.
Yeah.
Arcadia, lawful good, lawful neutral. Here you have orchards of perfectly lined trees, ruler straight streams, uh, orderly fields, immaculate roads. The cities are all like planned and geometric, right?
Mhm.
Everything is working towards a common good and a flawless existence.
I find it interesting about this plane. I think this is the one that we were talking about the other day, where like a lot of the Egyptian gods like are kind of residing here. So like we're talking like bed of civilization super straight pyramids, super straight roads. They've got the little obelisk things. Like it's very much
Things are
a
pretty mathematical.
right.
We're getting pretty, yeah, when it's like lawful here, they're playing into this idea of lawful, of like the fact that we're deciding lawful, the law is a straight road
Right.
as opposed to a road that is like this. Whereas like you could dance into this idea of like, that's why the Feywild's so fun, because you could have a town in the Feywild where they're like, no, the law is that it has to be like
Right,
this.
right, right.
If you get to your destination too fast, then we failed. As infrastructure people, we failed. No. So yeah, everything here is towards the common good. When I think of this, I also think of very like Stepford Wives.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
Very
the
like, no, 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 there's
brainwash.
no war in Bossing Say kind
Right.
of.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Next up, we have the Beastlands. This is chaotic good, neutral good. So no matter what, it's good, but sometimes it's chaotic, sometimes it's less chaotic. But this is a plane of nature unbound. Forests
Mhm.
ranging from moss hung mangroves to snow laden pines, of thick jungles to vast plains. Planet Earth 2 coming to Netflix soon. No, I mean, yeah, this is just like pure ass nature
Mhm.
where it's like nature is good because nature is not sentient in that way. So it's good because it's just, that's the law of nature. It's just like,
Right.
yeah, it's doing its thing. Chaotic, neutral, lawful, whatever. It's like none of that really matters. It's more like, yeah, we're just going to let it go
It's the
unfettered.
harm that could come from it is not spiteful in nature. It's just an extension of what it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what it's.
Yeah, it's what
Exactly.
it's. Yep.
That's going to catch on. I'm going to have to give Allie a bunch of money. Um, Bitopia is next. Lawful good, neutral good. So it's always good. Sometimes it's lawful, sometimes a little bit less lawful. So this is kind of like a little bit similar to
Mhm.
the Baselands. Baselands went chaotic. Bitopia goes lawful. Now this is interesting because this is two layers, hence the name Bitopia. Two layers that face each other. So think of that scene in uh Inception.
Inception.
Yeah, or there's a whole movie I think about that actually, where there's two like things facing each other. It doesn't matter. Two layers that face each other
Yeah.
like the covers of a closed book. Dothion and Shurok. Uh, a heaven of productive work. The satisfaction of a job well done. That's the vibe of Bitopia.
Okay.
Bitopia is where you go when, like, you know how you have, like, and we all have these people either in our families or like we know of somebody like this who's like 82 and is like, I'm working every day. I got to get out there. If I ain't moving, I'm dying. You're like,
Right.
Jesus, old man, have an off day. The guy who lives across the street from me is constantly doing yard work or something. Today he's got a fucking circular saw in his goddamn driveway, just going at it, cutting wood. I don't even
Hmm.
know if he's building anything. I think he's just trying to piss me off. But this is where they would go when they die because they love
Yeah.
that shit. They love working. They love doing it. Um, then we got Carcerai. We're going evil. This is chaotic evil, neutral evil. So kind of as close to the abyss as we can get without necessarily going full chaos. But this is
Right.
a
Mm.
prison plane of desolation and despair for backstabbers and traitors. 6 layers of bogs, jungles, deserts, mountains, oceans, and ice.
This would be a good kind of a good plane to have like somebody falsely accused that you have to go save or something like that and break.
Yeah.
So like definitely like a prison break style arc would be awesome for
Yeah.
this kind of thing.
It could be
For
really
this
interesting.
plane. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if it's, you got to rescue somebody because then it's a
Hmm.
break in, break out,
Right.
break in, break out. 2 parts of the
Break and
plane.
break up.
It's hard.
Hmm.
One Piece does a whole arc like that. It's beautiful. It's incredible.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's when you meet this crazy pirate who's, and I'm not joking, this is what they call him. Some of the representation is beautiful and some of the representation is a little stereotypical, but you meet a pirate who's very powerful, who helps Luffy, named the Queen of the Queers. And it's just
Anyway, so the next plane is going to be
yeah.
Elysium.
Uh so yeah, carcerized the prison.
Mhm.
Elysium, neutral good. We're
Yep.
good. Law, chaos, whatever. Home to creatures of unfettered kindness and a refuge for planar travelers seeking a safe haven. The longer a visitor stays, the less reason they find to leave. I thought
Interesting.
that was interesting. Yeah,
Yes,
because
that's
then
really
it
cool.
starts to set up like Lotus Eater kind of vibes.
Mhm.
That has a memory thing. This is deeper than that. This is like
Right.
hard because it's like your heart. It's
Your
like pulling
soul.
at your
Yeah.
soul, like from
Right.
a motivation standpoint, it's pulling from your soul of like you have less of reasons to leave. It's
Mhm.
the Lotus Eater things is dastardly because it's a memory thing. It's like you don't remember
Right.
why you need to leave. This is just like your mission's not as important as how fucking
Mhm.
cool this place is. This Dave and Buster's dude is fucking sick, dude.
It's fucking
I
awesome.
don't think we should leave actually. No, okay, next one. Gehenna.
Mhm.
Gehenna, lawful evil, neutral evil, so kind of closer to the nine hells in terms of vibes. A volcanic mountain dominates each of the four layers with volcanic earthbergs that drift in the air. Those are their words.
Okay, sure.
Now, what an earthberg is, I
I
think is just an
miss
iceberg made of earth.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
And if it's
What I was
volcanic,
thinking.
it can just it's got magma and lava.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's what an
Hmm.
earthberg is.
Earthbergs.
Yeah, and we didn't even need
Everybody
Collins
knows.
Dictionary that time. But this
Thank
is a
God.
plane of suspicions and greed.
Mm.
There's no space for mercy or compassion. It said that this would be a really interesting place for adventurers where maybe like you as the DM could start trying to almost like influence ways of having the party turn against each other. Like
Interesting.
maybe
Yeah.
there's like a villain involved in there, like planting false clues, but you could
Mm.
also have there be like little things like that where it's like maybe there are secrets that the party has where it's like so and so did steal this person's thing or like whatever, or is connected to their
Right.
backstory, and this would be the plane where that might come out.
Hmm.
Uh, then we have Hades. Interesting name here, considering its connection to all of the things in folklore and mythology. And
Right.
then to name one of the planes Hades, a little confusing to say the least.
Yep.
But Hades, neutral evil, the evil version of Elysium here. The layers of Hades are called the three glooms, places without joy, hope, or passion. Gray with
Mm.
an ashen sky, destination of souls unclaimed by gods or fiends. So if no one
Interesting.
wants you, you go here.
Huh. All right. And just kind
Listen
of
up,
chill.
atheists.
All right.
So,
We don't have to wait for the bonus section to get canceled.
yeah, right. Jeez, it's cool. If we go out because I made a good joke about atheists
Fair
as
enough.
one, that's
Yeah.
crazy. First of all, as one, that's crazy. Secondly, um, okay, then we have Limbo, another plane that you've
Mhm.
heard of. It exists in real world, or at least like in common religion and or cosmology or
Yeah.
whatever. But like we've heard of Limbo. It does have similarities to like what we think of as Limbo, but we
Mhm.
think of Limbo a little bit kind of similar to Purgatory as like a waiting place before the next big move.
Right.
Usually, not
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
not I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
speak for everybody, but here
In
Limbo
a
is
lot
chaotic
of.
evil.
Yeah.
First of all. So,
Mhm.
plane of pure chaos, a roiling soup of impermanent matter and energy. Limbo is change, both physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Okay.
So, things are constantly moving to the point where, like, oh, I'm walking on solid ground. Oh, it's water. Like,
Yeah.
the
It just
matter itself can just change. Like, that's how
right.
chaotic this plane is that there's
Right.
like so little to the rhyme or reason of things that, like, oh, I'm mad right now. No, you're not. You're happy. And you're like, why am I smiling? I was mad a second. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah,
it truly was like, if your players go here, like, they're not going to last long. It was like,
that's
adventures here
funny.
don't go well. It said that about that one, and the negative plane were the two that it was like, don't go here. It didn't even say that about some
Hilarious.
of them. Some of them it was like, you guys will be fine.
That's
These
so
two, they were
funny.
like, don't go. All right. Then we have Mechanist,
Why
lawful
write it?
neutral. We love Mechanists. We talk about all the
We do
time,
love
where
Mechanist.
perfectly regimented order reigns supreme. Equal measures of light and dark, of heat and cold, of everything. It
Mhm.
encapsulates absolute order, influencing those who spend time here. So these outer planes, and this is true for all of them, it just depends on how much you want to do it and how much the writers of D&D have decided to make that a part of the plane. But all
Mhm.
of the planes are powerful enough and it's suffused with enough magic, being an outer plane in general, part of the afterlife, souls powering it, all that shit. It it has its own effects on you as a mortal just
Right.
by being there. And the
Yeah.
longer you spend there, the crazier things can get. So even somebody who maybe is a little chaotic, if they spend enough time in Mechanist, it's going to start affecting them.
Yeah.
So something to think about. Next up, Mount Celestia. The seven heavens of Mount Celestia, by the way, lawful good. So this is like
Mm-hmm.
your picture
This is
perfect plane of ultimate
Bahamut,
law and good kind of
right?
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe he lives here. The seven mountain, or so, excuse me, seven heavens of Mount Celestia rise like mountains from a shining silver sea to incomprehensible heights with seven plateaus, being the seven heavens.
Right.
This is a plane of ultimate law and good. It is also the target, though, of endless attacks by evil forces, especially the devils of the nine hells. So, if your players go there, could be an interesting thing. Could be
Yeah.
an interesting kind of random encounter to occur where you're in Mount Celestia, you want to go see Bahamut, you're doing your things, you're climbing this impossibly high mountain to get to Bahamut's place, and you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then boom,
Bam.
plane
Devils.
opens, like a portal opens,
Uh-huh.
and fucking a bunch of flying devils come out and start attacking you as you're rock climbing. Who am I? Alex Hanold? Next up, we have the Nine Hells. You're familiar with Alex Honnold, right? The
No,
rock climber.
never,
He
nope.
free soloed El Capitan. No, okay. That
Nope.
was a rock climber joke. Anyway, you're not familiar with a specific rock climber? I
Mm-mm.
thought everyone knew who Alex Honnold
I
was.
can't say that I'm caught up on my rock climbing news.
He's awesome. I'm a big fan. But okay. Nine
Nine
hells,
hells.
lawful evil. This is the ultimate plane of law and evil, the epitome of premeditated cruelty. The nine hells are about the corruption of law, where devils are more cunning, insidious, and dangerous. So, chances are you find a bunch of you're gonna encounter devils and fiends in the material plane all the time.
Hmm.
You could encounter them in the Feywild, the Shadowfell. You can encounter them anywhere. But when you're encountering them in the nine hells, they a little home
Gonna,
turf advantage.
yeah. I also
It
think this
cranks
is
up their
where
attributes.
like the smarter of the devils stay. Like the ones that are
Yeah,
on the other planes that are getting they're being sent out to do stuff by other devils. And the
usually. Yeah.
devils that are here in the nine hells are the ones that are calling the shots.
Yeah, and devils are very interesting too because they have that lawful side of things.
Hmm.
It's like there's a misunderstanding of like how lawful devils are. Devils are like, "Oh, you're my equal. I'll backstab you all fucking day. Oh, you're
Right.
my superior. I don't want to get killed. I'll do what you say." Do you know what I
Right.
mean? So there is
Yeah.
still like backstabbing. There's still like power hungriness. There's still like constantly trying to advance and to
Hmm.
improve and to get better and stronger and to higher positions, more influence. They're still trying to do that. They're just like willing to go through the rigmarole, the bureaucracy to get there sometimes. They're
Yeah.
willing to wait for this archdevil to lose their position to then take it. Whereas demons in the abyss are like, anything goes, baby.
Yeah.
Anything goes. I'm George Santos. Anything goes. um, then we have the Outlands. The
Mhm.
Outlands are true neutral. So they fall on neutral on the good and evil side and on the chaos and lawful side. True neutral. This lies between the outer planes, a plane of neutrality, a good place, maybe, for a portal hub.
Yes.
A bunch, because listen, it kind of fucking is as I'm reading the second bullet point.
Yep. 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 Yep.
It is there's a bunch of gate towns there that travelers can use to access the outer planes. So it kind of is that.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's a lot of fun. Pandemonium is a fun one that I found searching through the cosmology of
Mhm.
weird planes. Obviously, the word pandemonium, the chaos of that. This is a chaotic evil and a chaotic neutral plane. Again, a little bit more similar to the abyss.
Mhm.
And I've used this in a home game. We played it in our home game. We had a
Yeah.
whole arc there, and it was a lot of fun, and I loved it. I could have been way more harsh about some of the environmental conditions. Like
Mhm.
looking back, just I could have. I'm fine that I didn't. I don't regret it. I just think I could have reflected the seriousness of those howling winds a lot better. But it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, am I really going to hammer the players with making checks this often? Like, or do I want them
Well,
to be in this plane? I want you guys to
you
be in this
did,
plane.
I think, impress
Did
enough
it
on us
once.
but we
I
like,
invented
we
a
got
remedy.
stuff. Yeah. We got stuff
It was
to like
beeswax.
deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just stopped having you guys make checks. It was
Right.
like you guys got to the plane. I had you guys make checks because of the beeswax. You got advantage or a bonus. I can't remember which.
Mm.
And you were the only one who failed, and you only failed temporarily. Because you were incapacitated for like a minute, but then you had to like make the save again, and eventually
Mhm.
you hit it. Uh, but then it was like once you guys got inside the main town, I stopped having you guys make checks about it, and we stopped kind of
Right.
worrying about it too much. I just think the more I read about Pandemonium, the more I'm like, damn, the winds really are like the thing about Pandemonium
Yeah.
because it's a plane
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
overwhelming chaos, a great mass of rock riddled with tunnels carved by winds.
Hmm.
It is a place of last straws. Every day here is your worst day, but with the constant wind.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm thinking back, I've got two things about this. One, working at the car dealership with in the shop on a windy day was the absolute worst because none of your service tickets would stay put. Or like for me,
Mm,
also doing like state inspections and stuff like that and trying to write on the paper as it's like constantly like flipping up while you're
yep.
writing, you have to like hold it like crazy. But also there's this is completely unrelated. Final Fantasy VIII, there's a summon called Pandemonium, who is basically just a giant vacuum cleaner. It
Oh, there
shows
you go.
up, it inhales all the stuff on the field, and then it spits it back out.
Perfect. It literally plays right into this because
Yeah.
that's kind of what Pandemonium is all about is just a
Mhm.
ton of wind.
Yeah.
Um, then last but not least in the outer planes, we have Isgard, Asgard,
Isengard. No.
something like
Isgard.
that. It starts with a Y.
Yeah.
It is a
It,
rugged realm of soaring mountains, deep fjords, and windswept battles. This is as Valhalla as you're going to get.
mhm.
Chaotic good or chaotic neutral. It's all about glory earned through heroic
Yeah.
deeds in battle. If you die on this plane, you return to fight again the next day.
So it is Valhalla. They just couldn't use, I guess somebody had the copyright for Valhalla and they
Or
had to, yeah, they
they
wanted
just
to make
changed
it.
it slightly
Yeah.
enough to be like, this isn't Valhalla. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different thing. But yeah, I guess
It's
also
ridiculous.
there's the cultural thing of using somebody's actual like hell or like heaven that they believe in. Like other than I don't think any of them are other than like Limbo or Hades, but like nobody
And even
really
Hades is like
even
a
Hades
stretch
is
because it's
yeah.
like the name of a deity. So it's a little
Right.
weird. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Beats
But it's
me.
cool. Yeah. No, it's Valhalla Realm.
Yeah, that's literally it. And then we have the positive and the negative planes. So the negative plane, cupped like a bowl underneath all of the outer planes, a source of necrotic energy that destroys the living and animates the undead.
Mhm.
A face-to-face confrontation with annihilation, unlikely to end well for adventurers. So there's not a huge reason to be here. And then you have the positive plane, a dome above the outer planes, a source of radiant energy and raw life force that suffices all living things. Vibrant life, creative energy, and radiant health are what this plane stands for.
Mhm.
That was 29 planes, give or take, I
Yeah.
think. And the only
We
one
did
I
it.
don't think I mentioned that technically was in the book are like demi planes, like a bag of holding, a fucking rope trick spell,
Right,
whatever.
right.
I didn't do those ones. Sorry. Because that's like that's just like a pocket plane. Figure it out, man.
Yeah.
There are too many. There's so many planes. We're going to go into greater detail about these planes. We're going to talk about planar travel, different ways that you can set up portals, different things to roll. Then maybe we'll do some episodes down the line about specific planes. We'll maybe cover the most common ones first and then go into the
Mhm.
greater ones in further
Yeah.
episodes. But before we do that,
Uh,
it's that time of the week, Taylor.
let's do it.
It's time for Monster of the Week. Oh, okay. Today, we have the Groot slang.
The Groot slang.
The Groot slang, Taylor. The
It's a
Groot
giant
slang.
tree monster.
Oh, you wish it was a giant tree monster. It couldn't be less of a giant tree monster. It is a legendary cryptid reputed to dwell in a deep cave in Richtersveld, South Africa. It is old as the world itself. It is a mistake that the gods made.
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
crafting new
naturally.
things. They're making
Mhm.
animals. They're putting the pieces together.
Can't all be
They
winners.
they fucked up a little bit. This was a prototype that accidentally still is here. And so what they did is when they made this monstrosity, the Groot slang, they realized their mistake. They were like, wow, it's got so much strength, it's got cunning, it's got intellect. These pieces don't really go together. These things don't work. So they split it apart, and using the parts of the Groot slang, they created elephants and snakes.
So the original was an elephant snake.
Nailed it. Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
seems like a very unviable creature.
The cave that it is said to be found in is also known as the Wonder Hole, my nickname in high school. Or, no, follow with me. Or the Bottomless Pit, sometimes what we call New York City. It's all tops there. It's all tops. I'm just kidding. But isn't that fucking crazy though?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, I don't
that
know if
is
you click
crazy.
on the link and you see the little drawing
I
of it.
see the draw.
First of all,
it's
thank
crazy.
goodness that they put in writing, this is an artist's rendering, because I thought it was a photograph.
I
at
thought it
first,
was
I gotta
photographed
say.
too. Yeah.
I
When
was
I
like,
first looked
that
at
is
it.
a fucking elephant head, tusks, big ears, just on top of a sea serpent.
Yeah, it's fucking wild because that is the Groot slang. It is basically just imagine a giant snake with an elephant for a head. Like the elephant head is normal sized, and then the snake body is increased so that it looks
Yeah.
like it works together.
Now, here's what I will say. There's a second picture,
Mhm.
a little bit smaller, sort of to the right. Click on that one and kind of zoom in a little bit.
What am I?
That is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
That is some like Alien versus Predator shit, but it's an elephant snake.
Oh my god.
Dude, that
It's
is
like a final-
terrifying.
It's like a Final Fantasy boss.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't want to look at it anymore. I'm exiting out of
Oh,
Groot
yeah.
slang.
Got
Well, that's Groot slang.
Cool. That's all we can get into this time, gang. Thanks for listening. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM, or you can ask us a question at So You Want to Be a DM at gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars in a review wherever you found us, and check out the Patreon, our Twitch, and our merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
See ya.
Hey gang, it's Justin. I have the honor of giving a shout out to the members of our Patreon gang. Nub Muffins, may Palor's light shine upon you. Marsavies, have you watered your flesh prison lately? Yazvi, the eternal library where color and community await you. Molly Adeza, who gets yet another level up. And there's Elijah, Tappy, and Linguini. Gang, we appreciate and love you. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Want to Be a DM.